welcome. My name is Hannah and welcome back to my channel. This is the second video of a long-awaited second video. If you don't know, my first video was back in January. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to be this long. Got caught up in school, life, work, stuff happens. So while I was perusing the internet, watching some YouTube videos, because that's what I do in my pastime, literally all the time, I saw a thing that caught my eye, and I was like, I never thought about that. And it was the question, why do girls like true crime? Or why has there been an influx of true crime for women? I was wondering that myself. I mean, there have been studies shown, women tend to like horror movies, thrillers, true crime more than men, and I think I know the reason why. So one of the things that really caught my attention with this was the idea of true crime documentaries. If you have not been anywhere, you probably have heard of so many true crime documentaries that came out recently. There are so many to not name from. And they've all been pretty good, I would say. True crime doesn't necessarily have to be murder, there are ones about murder or weird deaths, but money scandals or sexual harassment, kidnappings, or
I am gay, I am broke as shit, and this is all paid for by the committee of Joe Exotic.
You know what I mean? So there's just a ton of stuff that can go to true crime documentaries. I'm a huge fan of these myself, just to let you guys know. I love me some true crime documentaries. To my core. I don't know what it is. I think it's because when I watch these things, you just kind of sit yourself and you're like, how can someone do this? How can someone do these things and they live they're human, they're in person, it's not just a video, it's not just a film. These are real people who did real things, and you're like I don't know how to, I think it's wild. I think it's crazy. I think it's because it's unique. Because I don't see this in my day-to-day life. I don't go to college and then while in my class, I got a serial killer on my left and a money launderer on my right. It's just not always like that. But anyway, besides talking about the different types of true crime documentaries and stuff like that, we got TV shows like Law and Order, Criminal Minds, CSI, The Castle, Bones, the list goes on and on and on. Are you done yet? Cool. Thanks. One of the things that really, I think, caught my attention with this is true crime podcasts. Now, if you guys don't listen to podcasts and stuff like that, that's totally fine. Granted, podcasts, I feel like I've been doing this thing for terms of popularity, there's some years where it's whoa, podcasts, and then it's no one talks about it. But I think right now we're in the time where podcasts are huge. Back in action. I think because podcasts blew up because of Spotify, if I'm to be frank, because I think before then, the only times you could listen to podcasts was through iTunes and Apple Music, besides that point here. If you go on Spotify and look at podcasts, a lot of podcasts for true crime are told by women. It's very odd and strange at the same time. I think that goes into the topic of why women like true crime as a whole. You can clearly see that this is a big deal for women to talk about, and it's very popular for us to discuss about. And if you want some recommendations here, I have some listed on the screen right here of true crime or supernatural, paranormal, just kind of anything that goes into these. These are the ones that I listen to a lot, and I'm going to give them a thing right here. So if you guys want to listen to these podcasts, I definitely go recommend watching them. I'll put the links down below so you guys can go check these out on your own. I highly recommend them. My reasoning, I think, of why women are fascinated by this topic is because a lot of true crime revolves around men. If we look at true crime over the years, a lot of people who are villains are portrayed by men. And I think it's just nice to know like how these men have gotten captured or like taken down and stuff like that. And that's the thing of like when we see a woman who is like a serial killer or a murderer, something big and like big in that kind of thing, we all get taken a step back as women because we're like, what? She did that? She did that? Huh? For male serial killers, we have like John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, the Night Stalker, we have the Jack the Ripper, the Golden State Killer. The list goes on and on and on. And for women serial killers, we have the ones I can really name off the top of my head are Eileen Wuornos and Rosemary. Like those are like the most notorious ones I can think about who are in the Western culture. One of the very first killers documented in American history was Lizzie Borden in the 1920s, and for her case, the trial was very concerned about whether or not they wanted to prosecute a woman because she was in fact a woman, and they did not believe that she killed 5 people because, you know, she's a woman, and how can a woman lift up an axe? Like, you know, axes are heavy, and we don't got that. We have the jelly arms, you know? One of the other reasonings why I think women like true crime is because based in kind of like ideology or like how females and males are made or like our psychology behind it is that men are more logical thinkers, so they think rationally, and then women tend to feel more on their emotions, and we act more on our emotions to drive us through different parts of how we make our decision making. Because of that, I think we are more drawn to true crime because it is an emotion. It's an emotion of fear, anxiety, and you kind of feel for the victim. And a lot of documentaries, they always say like how you think the victim felt during this time. How do you think the killer felt during this time? What made him try to do this? For women, we tend to think about why, like we want to know more about what made them inside their head do the actions that they did. Even for me, true crime has been a big part of my life, not just because of like true crime documentaries and podcasts and whatnot, but I also wanted to take my career into true crime. In a way, because I watched Bones, which if you don't know, is a show about, you follow a forensic anthropologist and they go look at bones. It's the name of the show. You follow her and she works with the FBI and they do forensic science to figure out who murdered the victim. That show made me want to pursue forensic science as an actual career, to the point that I actually made it into my college career. For the first week, and then I just dropped it and now I'm studying film. But does crime still interest me? Hell yeah! I think forensic science is fascinating on its own. I enjoy learning from it. True crime always fascinates me because I want to know more about it and why people do what they do. It's just like a psychological thing, I guess. Granted, it could also be just based on what I'm studying, because along with film studies, I am minoring in English broadcasting theater and sociology, which basically means I know how to read a bitch. Trust me, I don't use my powers for evil. You say this, Heart? Aww. True love right there. The big question is, will a woman ever get tired of talking about true crime or venturing into true crime as like talking about it or being fascinated about it? Hell no, we aren't. And that's because true crime is just something that doesn't occur naturally in everyday life on a day-to-day occurrence. Like it might be, but we don't see it often. And when we do, we get fascinated about why this happened in the first place. And we want to know more about the psyche of men and women who are the victims or the killers or the criminals and why they do what they do. And for anyone out there, if you would want to get into the true crime, I would highly recommend watching a true crime documentary or listening to a true crime podcast of your choice. If you want to go into true crime documentaries, I would definitely suggest basically any crime thing on Netflix. The layout the documentaries take on Netflix are definitely entertainment based. You can tell through the editing and music and scoring and all that. So if you want something that's more like easy-hearted and kind of like you get an entertainment value out of it, go to Netflix. Otherwise, For true crime podcasts, I would definitely go with ones that have more of a comedic element to it. Like you have a charismatic host, and them telling it, because then it'll give you more of an ease of when they talk about these horrific stories. Because then you get something where it's like you have someone talking about something true, but also adding their own opinion and humor to it to give it a little lightheartedness out of the sad thing that happened in the event and stuff like that. If you guys want me to talk about more true crime, if you have any cases that you want me to look more into, I'd be very free to talk about it, since I once did have a passion and still have a slight passion for forensic science and crime. I am willing to talk about stuff about what happened with you guys. Otherwise, if you have any suggestions on any videos that you would like to see, leave those also down in the comments below, and I will be happy to talk about what you guys might want to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you like it, leave a thumbs up. And if you would like, leave a comment down below about what I should do next time, and I will take that suggestion and make it into a video of its own. Right now, I should be more consistent or have a little more video structure than, not posting for like 3 months. And if you want to follow me on my social medias to see like what else I might be doing, I have some of those links down below of some of my social media apps that I am currently using. Thank you everyone, and I hope to see you guys next time.